I'm looking at this dude tomorrow or tonight, and I don't know exactly how we're going to be talking about this dude. I do think he is going to be involved in this game one way, going either way. And that dude I'm talking about that I got my eye on, the guy I'm looking at, I'm challenging, I'm calling out, is Derek Stingley Jr. I know a couple of weeks ago, Clint, his stock was down for you. And last week, again, and I'll be honest, this is something that has occurred for him several times this year where he has just been fortunate that receivers and quarterbacks have not been able to connect on plays that would be big plays that have gotten away from him. A.D. Mitchell, who I thought was going to run his helmet and throw it into the stands on multiple occasions as he beat him on just outside routes, on fade routes to the outside, and Anthony Richardson couldn't connect. Well, that is one of Aaron Rodgers', if not Aaron Rodgers' favorite throw. Doesn't need a lot of protection for that, and he loves to put it up, and him and Devontae Adams have perfected it, and him and Garrett Wilson do it too. They connected multiple times last week against the Patriots. But Derek Stingley has some of the best ball skills of any corner in the league. And you could see, Clint, Aaron Rodgers throwing those up and Derek Stingley coming down with some picks. We've seen him do it. We saw him do it against Chicago with Caleb Williams. We've seen him do it in his time here. But which Derek Stingley are we going to be talking about, or you and Sean going to be talking about after the game, and we're going to be talking about at Home Run Dugout? Is it the Derek Stingley, the good Derek Stingley, the Derek Stingley that you throw a ball near him, he picks it off? All right, he got beat, and we've seen him kind of get beat a few times, and this is another example of him getting beat by Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron is as rough as he's been this year. That particular route, Clint, as you know, that like that's one, as you would say, he could throw in his sleep.
Yeah.
And not miss as many times as Anthony Richardson has or others have missed. So Derek Stingley is one that I'm really watching because I think he's going to be heavily involved in this game one way or another.
Yeah, look, I think when you look at the Minnesota –
I'm literally looking up at the TV, and I'm seeing
Aaron
the same route. Exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Just three in a row they have just shown.
Well, I mean, look, you look at the Minnesota game, you look at the Green Bay game, and then the Jets game. I think those are the three games this year, and I may be leaving one off, but look, those are the three games where you got a quarterback that can make it happen, and you got a wide receiver group that's dangerous, that's potent, that can be really, really, really good. Not just, well, this guy's a pretty good player. No, you got a quarterback that's going to take the risk. You got a quarterback that can make all the throws, and you got receivers that can absolutely do work out there. And it's the playing soft the entire game and letting them throw the ball underneath. Aaron's going to do that, right? I don't know that we've seen. Have we seen a team this year that just from a nickel and dime standpoint of just taking that quick stuff, the now throws, the slants, the underneath stuff?
I mean, the Packers do it, but
the defense was able to disrupt him. It seemed like turn the football over, and Aaron very well may do that as well.
But the slants and stuff were there, especially for.
You think that Stingley's going to be able to just sit back, and Kamari Lassiter for that matter is going to be able to just sit back and survive, because I think Aaron and this group they're going to take advantage of that and force them to come up and press or play cover too. And so yeah, I mean I think this is a game for Derek Stingley to shine. I think this is a game where he's really going to get challenged. Yeah, and it's a game for him to get up in somebody's face and not just give. I'm going to tell you.
That's what I was going to say. He is going to get challenged. He is going to. There are going to be multiple fade routes, and I'm sure he is ready for it. And like I said, you could see it going either way. I could see him getting multiple picks on those plays, or you could see him getting beat.
Yeah, look, I just want to see it. You know, the whole, like, for whatever reason, I can't get to Green Bay. The last defensive possession when Green Bay went down and kicked the field goal, I just
playing soft.
I can't get that out of my head of Derek Stingley. Four straight plays they went to his side of the field, and 4 straight plays him being soft, 2 of which they went to literally the receiver he was on.
We're saying soft coverage.
Soft coverage, yes. And the other 2, they went underneath. Because he was so soft, he allowed the read was blatantly obvious to the quarterback. I mean, it's like it can't be that easy when they choose to work to the side of Derek Stingley. It just simply can't. And this is one of those teams where you can't afford to do it. There's a lot of quarterbacks out there that the Texans have played and will play that you can afford to get away with that stuff because they're, for whatever reason, them or the offense is not capable of taking advantage of it. This isn't one of them. This is one where they're going to take advantage until you come up and press, and then they're going to take their shots down the field. Then they're going to take their hole shots versus cover two on the sideline. Then they're going to take their little corner routes, their inside fade routes. They're going to do those things. But first, they're going to take advantage of soft coverage. He's not going to stand back there and
because he's going to get pressured. And
he's going to eliminate the pressure if you're going to give him soft coverage. He's going to get the ball out immediately. And so he's going to force the corners up, and when that happens, they're going to take them shots. Do the corners come up before that? Do the corners come up and challenge before that, make him hold the football and the pass rush gets there? Or do they force him and allow him early on to get in a rhythm because he's taking that underneath stuff? We'll see. The key is here, this is a quarterback and a receiving group that will absolutely take that right now throw until you take it away from him.
Yeah, that's like I said, you could see it going either way of how this thing rolls through.
But your point, Ron, of like Derek, to me, let's think about this, man.
I'm just saying they've seen it on tape.
Look, when you want to talk about difference-making players this year, on the offense and the defensive side of the football, I mean, sure, Tank has been a little disappointed. You're talking about your third best receiver. Dalton Schultz has been disappointed. You're talking about your at best third best, even on a good year. You're with this group, your third best pass catcher, right? I mean, you're talking about depth guys at this point in time in terms of like rankings of pass catchers on the offense. Derek Stingley is a top 5, top 6 impact player on this football team. It's time that he shows it. He's going to be challenged.
He's going to have the opportunities.
Your overall point of calling out Derek Stingley and saying, hey, this is a game where he's got to show up, I couldn't agree more. And, hell, he may be at the top of that list of guys that, sure, they've been good, but has he been great? Has he made a handful of game-changing type plays? This is a game when he's got to go make one.
Yeah. As Ocho says, Rodgers might not be what he once was, but he's still good enough to hit open receivers. These lesser quarterbacks that the Texans have faced couldn't. If the thought is, yes, as you said, as Ocho said, Aaron has struggled and not played to the level that he has played in his MVP years. But if guys are streaking in the middle of the field and streaking open, which we've seen this year, I think the thought that he may not connect the way that Trevor Lawrence hasn't, the way that Anthony Richardson didn't last week, hell, the way Josh Allen didn't when he had open guys running down, I wouldn't want to take a chance with that. And you brought this other player up too, Clint. I wonder, I do believe, I believe Derek Stingley is going to get challenged and tested this week. I also believe, I think this may be the week that Kamari Lassiter gets tested too. And that is one where we've talked about it. It's been kind of surprising, even when he's been in the game, that teams haven't just kind of just tested that out. And this is a quarterback and receivers. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, we start to see a situation where Adams keeps going to the left side of the formation, where it is him against Kamari Lassiter. Damn sure he is going to be challenged. Now, Kamari's up to it. I mean, he's probably getting himself psyched up about it. I mean, currently somewhere losing his mind about it. But I would say, Clint, I don't think Kamari Lassiter has been tested a ton.
Yeah.
And I think this is a game on both sides. I think he's going to go outside and test both of these corners. And this will be one to really see where Kamari Lassiter is, because his impact has been big. We clearly saw a difference from when he was out and when he's in from the guys behind him. But this is a week that I think he'll have to go and make some plays.
Well, to me, it's what we're going to find out about Kamari Lassiter. I would have loved for him to be healthy against the Green Bay Packers to see kind of how he fared there. So we'd know a little bit more about him. And this is one of those games where you can talk about being in the right place at the right time and being a dog and being physical and that kind of stuff. And that's great. But when you face the better receiving corps, the better quarterback, how do you stack up against those guys? And the truth of the matter is, we haven't seen that combination versus the Texans, but a couple of times this year, one of which Kamari Lassiter was out and injured. So the more we can see him against guys like Devontae Adams and guys like Garrett Wilson and with Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball, the more we're going to find out about him. He's been a lot better than I thought he was going to be. I thought he was going to be a slot corner, and so he's been tremendous, relatively speaking. We'll see how he fares against a better quarterback and a better wide receiver.
I'm excited to see these guys because
absolutely, hell yeah.
Clint, I think we see every bit of 10 fades tonight. Just because to me, as we said, it's easy.
Some kind, yeah. You're probably right.
Because it's something that you can get off quickly. Because I do think Hunter and Will Anderson are going to be pressuring, and the blitz packages are going to be pressuring, and that is going to get to Aaron, and we can see a lot of one-on-one stuff on the outside between those two corners, and I cannot wait to see how they reacted. As you said. I think you said it just now. Like we'll have to learn. We'll be able to learn to see exactly what these guys have. Text line coming through. The 5-hour energy fan line. Text line coming through. Y'all talking about Sting. Meanwhile, Sauce hasn't been an All-Pro on the other side. Can we talk about the areas we can exploit and how we can actually win the game? We did in the second segment, but no. Yeah, they could. Sauce has not been himself. Now Sauce is probably dealing with a little different receiver situation than what Derek Stingley and Kamari Lassiter is dealing with. But
here's the deal. I mean, if you're listening to tell us what the hell to talk about, we just had about Derek Stingley. Like you can hear that however you'd like to hear it. The one way to hear that is that if Derek Stingley plays up to Derek Stingley's capabilities, then it can help us win a ball game. I mean, so it's having a conversation about Derek Stingley Jr. and about as it pertains to winning is if he goes out there and does his thing, then the Texans going to have a really damn good chance of winning and continue to play great defense. It's a different challenge this week.
Yeah, and big boy thoughts here, to be honest with you. Like, Sauce Gardner doesn't have a damn thing to do with what we're talking with the Derek Stingley situation. Right, yeah, they can exploit Sauce, yeah. But we're talking about Derek Stingley. Right, I would say that this week, because of the situation, Derek Stingley and Kamari Lassiter's covers, and there is more difficult, more of a challenge than what the Jet secondary is going to have to deal with. Yeah, I mean, if Kamari Lassiter was having to shut down Robert Woods types and Xavier Hutchinson types, that's a different ball game. This to me, I think you could argue, Clint, this could be the biggest challenge these corners have had to look at. Even though the Jets are 2-6, but just specifically the receivers they have with the quarterback they have and the routes that they like to run, and what you said earlier, the fearlessness of Aaron Rodgers to repeatedly throw these routes, that could be the biggest challenge that these two corners have had to deal with.
It's that simple.
That or the Packers of what they've had to deal with. So, but a big opportunity for both, and two guys that I'll be absolutely watching to see if they can hold up and really make an impact, because they could. The negative is, they could get beat, but the positive is there could be interceptions and turnovers had. We've seen Aaron turn the ball over on these things. There could be those out there to be had to change the game.